Hey guys, welcome to the next part of the Q&A series, and I might get through these questions. I mean, I think I have 10 pages, but the questions are really big because I have it so I can see it without like getting real close to read it. The first question is, what do you think about Click with Adam Sandler, and why don't you watch more action movies? I don't know, I've never really been into like a lot of real action movies. I mean, there's a select ones that I really like, but it's never really been my all-time favorite. But Click, I really did like that. You know, it's a little sad. Like, it's just kind of like 50 First Dates. What do you think about director M. Night Shyamalan? And what did you think of movies he made, in particular, Signs in the Village? I mean, I've always liked his stuff. A lot of people, really dislike him. Or, said how great he was and then how he started to make stuff that's not that good anymore. And, some of the stuff lately isn't amazing. But I like the one in the elevator lately, the Devil movie. Well, I know he just produced it. But I liked Signs, and I really liked The Village. So, I mean, I had no problems with those ones. Sega or Nintendo. I mean, I think with me, I know Nintendo is kind of the better system. I think I always just kind of like Sega a little bit better, because I remember, getting it in 1991. Like what was the first system I ever got. And I think I remember playing Sonic. I think that was the first thing I got. I don't know, it's just like since that was like the first system I ever played. I got Nintendo, I think, when I was in the 4th grade, 3rd or 4th grade, something like that. And, it is the better system, though, but I think it's more, I just have more of a connection with Sega. Hey, Sean, I never knew you were an actor. That is fantastic that you don't let that job slip. I've always wanted to act. I have 2 joke impersonations video on YouTube. My question is, how were you discovered and become an actor? Well, I've talked about this some in the past. Well, a lot of times in the past, but in case you didn't hear about it. Like the main thing was just from doing the videos on YouTube, I, got asked to do the Banshee and, Assault of the Sasquatch movie. And, Banshee was just sort of a small, quick thing, kind of filmed like a vlog. But when I did the Sasquatch movie, being on the set, working with the people, I really liked it. And, from there, I just kept on working, some little things, and then just kept building and building up into, making connections, with bigger and bigger people and things like that. And that's pretty much how I've done it. And then just like contacting filmmakers and things like that, and doing auditions for bigger movies and things like that. But that's pretty much how I personally did it. It was a lot of luck. I mean, I really owe pretty much everything to YouTube, truthfully, and doing those DVD updates. That's why I don't think I would ever not do them, even if it was like every couple of months, because I really owe so much to doing those things. And I never would have thought doing a DVD update is what would have got me seen and then got me started finally doing something, and doing something that I really liked. Because, I always wanted to act. I always liked to perform and things like that, but I didn't have the drive back then before getting asked to actually go out and do it. At that point in time, I wasn't doing shit. I don't think I knew what the fuck I was going to do with myself. So I'm so glad that happened. What is your favorite John Waters film? I don't know. I really like the Serial Mom and Pecker. Probably those ones are 2 of my favorite. And then Polyester, too. What's your opinion on Kevin Smith branching into horror with the new Red State film? Also, what's your favorite film this year? I don't know for best film this year, but, I've seen the trailer for Red State. I think it looks really pretty good. I am a little upset that Kevin Smith is, planning to do this hockey movie and then stop directing, because I think he's very talented, and I think I understand why he's quitting, because people give him so much shit for not making Jay and Silent Bob movies, but the thing is, you can only do that so long, and I think those were the most profitable for him, and he's having problems now, and I understand that, but I don't think he needs to worry about those people. I think he needs, because he's a very good filmmaker. He really is. And a very good writer. You look at Chasing Amy. Jay and Silent Bob wrote it for a very small amount of time. It's a really well done movie. So I really like him. And now I know he talks a lot about the Smodcast stuff. I think he just, is kind of upset. And like I said, I understand that people keep giving him crap that he's not doing what they want. What was the last truly bad movie you've seen? I don't know what the last really bad movie I saw. Yeah, that's tough. Have you seen the Finnish movie Sauna? I think I've seen the cover to it. I don't think I've seen it though. So your question. That's some kind of a. That's something weird. That. Let me see. Have you seen the? What have you seen that Frostbite movie I just sent you? What did you think about it? Frostbite. Oh yeah, that was the one. Yeah, I saw that a while back. As I remember, I liked it. Sean, do you want to do more horror movies, or are you hoping to branch out in other genres? It seems you have a taste for acting in those kinds of movies. Well, it's mainly because I really know that group of people. I made connections in the horror group. Um, at some point, I would really like to do some comedies. You know, kind of like even the low budget, kind of like urban kind of comedies and things like that. I would love to do that kind of stuff. But there's something really fun about the horror stuff, dying or having to be scared and all that stuff. I feel like it's a challenge, and I really like that kind of stuff. Do you think Penelope Cruz ruined Pirates of the Caribbean 4? I actually didn't go to see that one. I don't know. I wasn't that interested in it since it didn't have like Keira Knightley. A bunch of them just weren't in it. I know they weren't supposed to and all that, but I don't know. I just wasn't interested. Can you tell me more about the movies you've acted in? I'll look on the. Like I said, mainly it's been horror movies and stuff, things like that. But I would go to Internet Movie Database. I say it wrong. IMBD all the time. IMDb. I say it wrong all the time. Just put in Sean C. Phillips so you can see like the whole list. If you go to the resume one, that has everything on there. But mostly it's been horror movies and things like that. Hey Sean, your videos are great. I'm a huge fan of action movies, especially the low-budget films of the late 80s and 90s. My question of what is your favorite action film? What did you think of The Expendables since it's almost New Year's? What is your pick for the film of the year? These must be old questions I'm reading. Am I reading like really old questions? I think I'm reading really old questions. Shit. In the last 2 videos I've been reading from old questions. Oh well. I guess these are ones I never got to or something. Let me look at the other one. I feel like a bit of an idiot here. Yeah, no wonder these were spaced out differently. Yeah, I've been thinking for a while that the questions have been spaced differently. I didn't remember spacing them like that. So I guess in the last 2 or 3 videos, I'm reading from an old list that I never finished. So I guess the next part would be me finishing the other list. Oh man. But I don't know. I'm starting to feel like a bit of an idiot now. Do you think you'll make another video with MJ or even Brandon? Whenever me and MJ get time to meet up, again, I don't know, maybe sometime in the winter. So I don't know. I don't really want to go during the snow. I don't know. It may be a while because I don't. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't really want to have to go and deal with the snow, and also like. The problem with going to Maryland during that time is you can get, like, stuck. You know what I mean? And, like, snowed in and all that. I think if we did it, we would probably go somewhere both and meet, like, Atlantic City or somewhere else. Somewhere different. Because I really don't have any interest in staying at his house. And, I don't want to get into that because then I'm going to get yelled at about it. But, I don't want to get into that. Yeah, because I got in trouble last time. You know what I'm talking about. If you had to move out of the U.S., which country would you like to live in? I would live in Canada. I would live in England. I would live in Australia. Any of those kind of places, I'd be happy. I always thought it would be kind of fun to move to England and be one of the American actors. Some of the shows they have sporadically you see an American in the shows, and they're kind of like an American, but they live in England, but they've kind of become famous there. And I always thought that would be kind of fun to go there and do I don't know, just something about that. I always thought that would be cool. Why are you making videos? It's just always something I like to do. I really just like to communicate with everybody, and really just for you guys. Have you ever thought about acting in a haunted house? Not necessarily going through it, but actually being a character as a character. Like, I've known some people who have done that. I would definitely consider doing that at some point. You know, but I mean, lately it's been so busy. Um, by the way, I found the first. So this is old ones. Well, now since this part's over, I'm gonna move to the other questions, and then go through the actual ones that were the ones I was supposed to be reading in the first place. Man, I cannot believe the last couple videos have been these old ones. Like, I'm talking, these are from like November. These ones are from May. I've got a question for you. What is your favorite director, and what do you think about Jurassic Park, and what version do you have? Are you looking forward to the most on Blu-ray? I'm definitely looking forward to the Jurassic Park set Blu-ray. I mean, I really didn't care for part 2 and 3 that much. I really like the first the best. But favorite, and I've talked about the other ones a lot. The question is, have you seen the first Tron film? So I've talked about that. Trying to like go through with ones that because so many of these I've said before. What would you name your kids and tell Herb he is awesome? Like, if I had kids, I don't know what I would name them. I don't know. I've never really been interested in having kids. For some reason, like, I get really annoyed by them. You know what I mean? Like, I know as a kid I was an annoying little asshole. I know that. I cried all the time. I was a bit of a turd. But I don't know. I've just never been that interested in that. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Isn't the two Bill and Ted's movies some of the most inspiring movies you've ever seen? Isn't the Grim Reaper one of the funniest characters in any film? Best of 5, you're damn right. What other movies do you find inspiring? And why do you think inspiring movies are from the 80s and 90s and not in the recent years? I don't know, I think it was just about like the writing back then and just the kind of movies they were making. They were just making more fun, silly movies they really weren't taking seriously all the time. Nowadays, a lot of movies are real serious in tone. Even the comedies, have scenes where they kind of like go real heartfelt stuff, and there's something wrong with that. But the 80s movies didn't really do that. They were just kind of fun. I don't know, maybe that's what it is. I don't know right now some of the other ones, but I think I've talked about them in the past. Yeah, but the Bill and Ted movies are really good. I mean, I really hope at some point, they put them out and they put out those damn deleted scenes that they've talked about and never done them. Never shown them. What do you hate about summer? What are you so physically attracted to when it comes to a woman? Can you sing us a Cher song right now? Do you believe in life after life? I guess that's one. Attracted, like, I don't know. I'm not like one of those people that's like, they need to be real skinny and stuff. I mean, I'm fat. I'm not. But, like, I don't know. But they say fat people don't like real fat women. I don't know. I'm really not that picky, and I really don't like to judge people like that. I've dealt with that myself, so I'm really never been a very judgmental person on people. So, I don't know. I don't really like to think that way about people. Do you believe in Santa Claus? Not really, no. No. Do you believe in fairies? No. What I hate about summer, I mean, I really don't care for the heat. Like, really, really, it's really hot out, and when it's like so hot you can't even be outside, that kind of stuff. Who are people who inspire you in your life and your passions? People that inspire me are just like people that are doing the same kind of stuff that I'm doing, that are really succeeding or really have drives to do that, or, like I said, really creative people and things like that. Is there a film you would think would have been better if different actor, different director directed it? Too many good movies are being remade. Is there not a good film you can think of could be remade, potentially great? Not so good movie, like basically a not so good movie being remade. I mean, I don't know, like just some of the movies, I don't know, I can go offhand, but I mean, I guess just some of the movies that were like from 20 years ago and stuff that weren't that great, just see them done now. But, that's a tough one. I don't know for the director, though. Those are very tough questions. How often do you get approached in public by fans? And it's kind of funny. It happens more often when I'm with like Wet Movie or somebody else, and it really depends on the places. Like if I go to a convention and Comic-Con, those are like the craziest for that. But not like if I'm going to the market or I'm going to like Walmart, things like that. But it's probably once or twice a month, just in regular life, just when I'm going to regular places. Um, what makes a good parent to you? Have you ever been depressed? If so, how do you cope with it? I really think my parents are good parents, just like that are really nice people, that are people that you can talk to about things, that are supportive of what you do in your life, things like that. That are not like, because you see some people's parents and they're just real, want the kids to leave and don't care what they do and calling them screw ups and having all like, having their goals for their kids, like forcing them into things like that. Like I don't like that. What part-time jobs? I was at Target for, sorry, this chair is squeaking like crazy. I was at Target for like maybe 2 months. Not 2 months. Like 2 weeks. And that was before I drove, so I had to take a bus. And I couldn't handle that. So then I had to get driven. And then I just sort of lost it at that place. I didn't like Target. And you had to deal with the other people where if they didn't get their sections done, then you had to stay and all that stuff. When you say when I was depressed, that was one of the times. Working there and working at the movie theaters was very depressing. I don't really talk about that stuff much. That was really shitty time. Like the movies was like a great escape when I got to work on things like that. But now is really the best time in my life of things. This is kind of a personal question, but maybe not. Do your family ever get tired of doing around the town vlogs? Well, they never really get tired. It's more like if they hear negativity about them and things like that, that really upsets them because they just don't like that. Do you ever think it'll eventually break the family up? No. Because, if they got to that point, I would not film them. You know what I mean? If they don't want to be in them, I'm not going to go that crazy about it. I'm not going to break up my family over videos. I noticed Herb doesn't seem really into it lately. Well, this is from a while ago, but he seems way more into it now. What's going on when you're not actually recording? When we're not recording, it's pretty much the same. Does Herb complain about where you're going to be filming? For example, does Herb say you're not going to film inside a Target store? No, he doesn't seem to care about that. Like, I've never gotten in trouble for filming anywhere. It's like not like I'm doing anything bad. I'm just sort of like video blogging my life. It's not like I'm there to like cause a scene in a store and go, oh well, I don't support this or things like that. It's just basically what I'm doing. So I've also used things like the phones. I don't go in there with like a video camera, and I wouldn't go in there with like a flip. Anything that people know and it really stands out, I wouldn't use. So I've never really been caught except for when I got really rusty doing it at this one mall when MJ was out here. And I got caught like 3 times the same day, and I was like, oh shit. That was bad. Well, yeah, let's see. How did you get into acting? I talked about that. Do you like Oprah? I never really liked Oprah. Let me see. I'm trying to look through these and see what I haven't answered. Now that you're out of school and actually full-time in California, what does your typical week look like for you? How much time are you devoted to YouTube videos? How much are you devoted to acting gigs? I mean, like every single day, I spend like time at night networking with people and talking to people. And, I try and make it so I'm doing like at least a film a month, or every other month and stuff. And like depending on the quality, like if I do a really big thing, then I go, okay, I'm not going to worry about it for a little while. And things like that. But yeah, most of the time it's just me, shooting the videos. Or, I try and shoot like at least 2 or 3 things a week. There's some weeks when I'm like, just don't have the time to do it. But I try at least no matter what, try and get one thing. Do you have an agent? No, I've been approached by people. I've talked to people. I think at some point I definitely will. I know at that point I'll have to go on to SAG, and it's kind of like I just have to kind of get to a place where I feel really ready to go to that step. And like I'm totally ready for that point. Any chance you see outside of horror anytime soon? Yeah, people ask that a lot. I think at some point. Do you think you do a great in an indie film like Humble Pie as an overweight, introspective, nerdy guy? Well, I haven't seen that one. What made you get into horror? Like pretty much just because that's always what I've liked. You know, that's always like my favorite type of movie to watch. Anyway, though, thanks a lot for watching, and I still have a little bit of, you know, I actually might try and go through these. I don't have that much, so if this is a little longer, it doesn't matter. Favorite ride at Disney World? Well, no, ride at Disney World do you hate? You know, probably like the roller coaster stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, but never really liked like, crazy things like that. What do you think of Cry Baby? I liked that a lot. It was a Baltimore shot film, John Waters. You know, I haven't watched it in a long time, but as I remember, I really liked it. Can you ever see Kenan and Kel getting a DVD release? And how can I get into the film industry? I talked about that a little while ago, but I can definitely see Kenan and Kel coming out. Like, hopefully the Shout Factory will put it out. And I think, you know, with the Teen Nick thing now, when they're airing the 90s Nick, you know, every night at midnight to 2, I think that's really going to help boost the interest in getting DVDs. Have you ever watched more extreme films like Flower, Flesh, Blood, August Underground, even Cannibal Holocaust? And if you are into these films, may I ask why, and what is your thoughts on films like this? You know, August Undergrounds, I think, are very good gore effects and things like that. They're not really my kind of movie. I like Cannibal Holocaust a lot, though. It's the worst film you've ever seen. Had a really cool DVD cover. You know, it's sad as it says, there's a lot of horror movies, indie horror movies that have really good covers, and you watch them and they're just so poorly done. And you know, when I look for like an indie horror movies, there's a lot of different types. There's the ones when the person who's doing it, you know, that are super low budget, and super low budget ones, if they know what they're doing and really, you know about filmmaking and, you know, lighting and all that kind of stuff, they can make a movie look like $100,000 and up. But if it's somebody who's making a movie, you know, that gets distributed, it's super low budget, they don't know a lot about what they're doing, it can look really poor. And even so, the thing is, though, sometimes the ones that look really poor are great movies. It just really depends. And I think sometimes people see the ones that are really poor, shot really poor, and not good subject matter, not smart, and not great, and very good movies. And that kind of makes people think they're all like that, when that's not the case. But yeah, so. Sean, you have trouble spelling the comment section. Do you have a learning disability? Were you ever in special ed? No, I wasn't in special ed. I'm dyslexic. And I don't know, I just never was the greatest speller. I mean, I screw up stupid stuff. Like, for the most part, though, I'm not a terrible speller. It's just certain words that I screw up a little bit. Man, I can't believe I'm almost done with these. Favorite movie critics? Probably like Roger Ebert, you know, Sisker and Ebert, you know, who's passed away. I don't really listen to the critics too much anymore, though. How many black shirts do you own? Probably like, I don't know, 15. Top 3 childhood cartoons. Some of these are really tough, like, because I just to pick on those. Pet peeves, movie pet peeves. Have you ever been rickrolled? I have been rickrolled. Would you say your absolute favorite thing about the 90s? Probably just some of the shows then. And I think just when I was a kid watching them, I think just remembering back, and just some of the things that I grew up with, I really liked the look, the colors, and the styles then. When you think about the movie Teeth, I don't know, it's a twisted movie, but I liked it. What inspired you to start YouTube? Well, I just started YouTube, like, when I first started this channel. Like, I never would have known that I was going to really do anything with it in the very beginning. It was kind of like YouTube was new then, and I was like, well, I want to make a channel so I can comment and just see what happens with it. And so I never really thought, at that point, you know, it wasn't like it is now. So it was kind of like, just kind of used to watch stuff and post comments and things like that. Who was your hero growing up? You know, probably just like, you know, Ernest P. Worrell, Pee Wee, things like that. If anyone could play you in a movie, who would it be? I don't know. That's very tough. What do you like better, tacos or burritos? Probably burritos. Certain ones, though. How many hats does Dweebo own? I don't know, maybe 20? Was there ever a movie or TV show your parents wouldn't let you watch as a child? I think there was like select movies. My dad was like, well, that's not appropriate yet. Would you ever, if they remade Return of the Living Dead and completely botched the story, what would you do if they ever remade Return of the Living Dead and completely botched the story? I don't know, I personally would be upset. I wouldn't do anything about it, I just would be upset. Would you ever want to direct movies? How many movies have you been in? I mean, like, the IMDb says a certain number, but I really consider maybe like 20. I mean, I've done more than that, but like 20 that I would actually consider people should watch. Well, I don't know. That's a tough one. Some of them, too, are things if I've shot things for them. I think I've been on set of maybe like 30 movies. Something like that. At some point, I would definitely direct something, but it's not really a main interest. Do you get royalties from the movie you've done, or is it usually just a one-time payment? Hopefully at some point I do that kind of a movie. What camera do you shoot your videos with? Like I said, the iPhone. I have a flip as well. Would you like to see a Thundercats or Masters of the Universe movie, Mortal Kombat, or Street Fighter? What's the story behind your hat? Who, what, where, why? Well, it's basically from Adam Rifkin. It's the one he always wears. It's always just kind of my little support to him. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't really like hats, but this is the one I always worn. And that's pretty much all the questions. I think I've gone through them all now. Even though I started with the old list, I've gotten through them all. So they're done. Well, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys later.